for these long hours that they spend with us, I really can have a lot of pockets of time to do very meaningful development work with them. For me, in terms of academic, yes, emphasis must always be there, in Singapore where grades matters quite a lot. The other areas which I want to develop them holistically is like, chess, which I really strongly believe that it develops their cognitive, critical thinking skills, public speaking, be very confident to stand on stage to everybody. Coding, robotics are really, really very important skill sets to have as well. But I feel that even if you develop the children with all these skill sets that prepares them, for the 21st century kind of requirements when they go to work, there's still something which I feel is missing, which is actually that inner quality to be able to be very resilient, to be able to face failure like an opportunity for new growth and all that. This is pretty much missing, in any individual's development. I just find that kids doesn't have that opportunity, right? And when I hear about C-learning, it's social, emotional, ethical studies, I just felt that, wow, this is something so relevant for our children. That is something that I've always been looking for, right? To complete that whole picture of a wholesome child.
First of all, I really feel inspired to see what you are doing here at the Mind Spark, establishing a facility where children can spend quality time learning various skills that they need for the 21st century citizens. I really appreciate you recognizing the importance of building emotional resilience, the building skills that can help them be grown-up people who can interact with others in a meaningful way. Those are social skills.
Give you an example, I think there was one day when the student actually came in, one of them got injured in school, and the students are really very kind, right? They actually record, this lesson being taught to them, and they realize that they want to help more, to extend their assistance. They make way for him, to give him more space, to walk, to move from place to place, and also to show love and concern. Yeah. And also I think in our daily classroom activities, they also try to show that they have consideration for others by pushing in the chair, cleaning up the table so that the next group of children, when they come in, they have a clean table to use. So when we do all this, we try to recall to them, hey, we learn about this, so let's try to all practice, and every little thing in their daily activities, we try to relate it back to the lesson. So we take, for example, the chess that we are talking about. It's not just a game to me, it is very much for you to learn how to think a few steps ahead in life. And not only that, there's only one winner and one loser. So what do you do when you are the loser, right? How do you handle that? And do you take losing as, that is the end already? I'm just going to give up this thing totally because I'm not good at it. Or are you going to take this as a growth opportunity for yourself? You see success, you see failure as just a growing journey, right? That you want to learn from it and to be able to be better the next time round, right? You are competing with yourself and not with your opponent. And that's what we want to be able to, through all our programs, be able to bring all this C-learning into it, into their daily activities.
This is the first, one of the first institutions where C-learning is being implemented, and to do it in such a way that the program is actually making difference to the students now and in the future. It's our hope that the C-learning will flourish in Singapore and in that way benefit the children now and the society in the future.